Manila is our first stop in the Philippines. Today, we walk through Intramuros, the old Spanish walled city, from Fort Santiago to the lively streets around Cabildo and over to Rizal Park. This is Manila, and this is Trailblazing Adventures. We spend the day here, starting at Fort Santiago and walking across Intramuros and into Ermita. Intramuros is not your typical colonial tourist town. It's not a museum piece. Much of it was destroyed during the Battle of Manila in World War II and later rebuilt. Some parts carefully restored, others less so. And that, in a way, is part of the appeal. We start at Fort Santiago and step into Plaza Moriones, an open space with a broad lawn, and on the western side, what was once the Baluarte of San Francisco Javier.
Time is gone and I grew up. I somehow made it through without losing sight. And I still wonder where you are, and if you found a way out from the dark. The stories I've been told, they never seem to leave my mind. On this road that I am on, I gotta stay here for some time.
The colonial fortifications include a moat and the main gate, one of Manila's landmarks, a Spanish colonial staple, the figure of Santiago Matamoros, St. James the Moorslayer above the gate. Inside is the heart of Fort Santiago, and our introduction to José Rizal, martyr of the Philippine struggle for independence. The Rizal Museum is the must stop to know more about his life. Here he spent his final days and wrote his famous verse.
Adiós, patria adorada, región del sol querida. Adiós, queridos seres, morir es descansar.
We'll meet Rizal again later, at the end of our walk. The dungeons show another chapter of Philippine history: dark, narrow, and damp spaces where prisoners were held during the Japanese occupation. It's a stark contrast to the open grounds above. Outside, a white cross marks the area where many prisoners died during the Japanese occupation.
1, 2, 3, 4.
From here, we walk into Plaza Roma, the historic center of Intramuros. Facing the square is the Manila Cathedral, one of the most important churches in the country. Completed in 1958 in a neo-Romanesque style. Inside, it's airy and austere. At the end of the nave is a figure of Our Lady of the Immaculate Conception. General Luna Street is the main artery through Intramuros, connecting most of the key sites. But it's worth stepping off it. Streets like Cabildo give you a better sense of everyday life inside the walls: vendors, food stalls, and people shopping. We walked Intramuros in early December and got caught in the rain more than once. When it rains here, it doesn't ease in. It comes down all at once, heavy, steady, and hard to avoid. You wait it out where you can, and then a few minutes later, you're back on the street, and everything moves again. Casa Manila is the kind of place you step into while waiting for the rain to pass. A reconstructed mansion that shows how the 1% lived in the 19th century. San Agustin Church is the oldest stone church in the Philippines, completed in 1607. It survived the destruction of Intramuros during World War II, while much of the city around was lost, a Baroque masterpiece that has withstood all sorts of calamities. Next door, the monastery centers around a cloister, with arcade corridors and a quiet courtyard. The museum has religious art and artifacts from the Spanish colonial period, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's one of the most complete and preserved spaces in Intramuros. We like this place so much that we dedicated a full video to it. Make sure to check it out. Before leaving Intramuros for Rizal Park, we stopped at Baluarte de San Diego, one of the oldest fortifications in the city, now a quiet garden set within the old walls. Before the destruction in World War II, under the Japanese occupation, Manila was known as the Pearl of the Orient. The reconstruction that followed didn't prioritize people or public space. Whether it was the challenge of rebuilding a whole city or the short-term interest of the pre-war land-owning elite, the result is a city with very few green areas. Rizal Park is one of them, and Manileños make full use of it. At the center of Rizal Park stands the Rizal Monument, marking the site of his execution in 1896, an injustice that marked Philippine history. This is where José Rizal was executed by Spanish forces, ending a life that would later shape the country's path toward independence. A set of sculptures recreate the moment of his last breath.
Adiós, patria adorada, región del sol querida. Adiós, queridos seres, morir es descansar.
At night, the park fills up. Local and few tourists gather around the rectangular lagoon where the dancing fountains put on colorful shows. And we head back to Intramuros to the Pasig River Mercadillo. Time to enjoy the atmosphere, some local food, and the night views. Thanks for watching. Here is our video on San Agustin Church and the Agustinian Monastery, and the subscribe button. And as always, happy travels!